the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on a Monday morning. We are glad that you have joined us wherever and whenever it is that you join us each and every day and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. Brett and Faith here on a Monday morning. Good to see you this morning, Faith.
Good morning. Good to see you as always.
A little bit late getting here. It's not our fault. You can vouch for us.
Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I hope this isn't a sign of how the day's going to go.
I sent you what was a sign yesterday. So.
You did send that sign, and maybe not. But, yeah, a little technical issues this morning. You just never know. But, hey, we're here. We're going to fight through it, and hopefully we'll be all good now. Hopefully we got it all straightened out. But a ton that we've got to cram into a small amount of time because we got a busy day ahead of us. Of course, you get technical difficulties on a day where you really need to kind of get out and get going. But, hey, that's part of it. So, hey, coaching search updates. We'll talk about that a little bit. Auburn and Houston yesterday. Look, I learned a lot. I know you did. I know everybody did about this Auburn basketball team. There's still some things, obviously, that are glaring that prevented Auburn from winning that game yesterday. But the positive thing is they were right there. They had every opportunity to win it, and you were playing the number one team in the country. So tells you a little bit more about who you are as a team. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But obviously, Auburn has a football game on Saturday. It was nice to have a week off. A lot of crazy things went on this weekend, Faith, that hey, it was nice to just kind of kick back and not have to worry about your team. But, hey, some interesting things that went on around this conference this weekend.
No question about it. Yeah, it was nice not to have really a dog in the fight watching these games just because of everything crazy going on. So it was nice to actually have a nice little relaxing weekend. Excited for this Mercer game at 1:00, and it's not – a late night game where we're all getting back around 12 in the morning. I mean, it's gonna be nice to have that.
Yes, it is. Hey, this is a 9-1 Mercer team coming in, by the way. Not that should matter. Oh, okay. I mean, let's be honest about it. It's not one of those deals where, I mean, they've played Western Carolina and beat them by 2. Of course, they blew out VMI. They beat Furman. They beat Princeton. They beat Sanford, East Tennessee, the Citadel. I mean, we can just keep going. I mean, you see what we're dealing with. But bottom line is, this is a Mercer team that scores a lot of points, that does some crazy things, but more about what is Auburn going to do quarterback wise on Saturday. That's really, to me, the focus of where this Auburn program and what this Auburn team and this current staff and the people that are in place are thinking. We all know the Ashton Daniels scenario. We know that if he plays, the red shirt's off the table, and he's pretty much said, come out, he desires to come back and play somewhere, whether it be at Auburn or play another year of college football. So you would think that's off the table. So that leaves 2 guys, Deuce Knight or Jackson Arnold. Who are you starting, Faith?
I'm putting Deuce Knight in there. I mean, seriously, you got to just go ahead and let him have a moment to see what he can do, what this year, I mean, with everything crazy going on, what this year is going to provide him and how, if it's grown him or not. I mean, you've seen Jackson Arnold. Throw Deuce in there, give him some experience, whether he's going to stay at Auburn or go somewhere else, at least let him have a game under his belt. Not just those few, snaps that he had earlier this season and then got yanked.
And it shouldn't be one of those situations where you're putting him in a precarious situation where you're even worried about the outcome of the game. You can do things that, Auburn should just line up and run the ball. I know if Hugh Freeze were here, that probably wouldn't be the case. You'd find a way to keep Mercer in the game or give them a chance. But literally, you should be able to just line up and do some simple things and win the game. But with that being said, you also, if that's going to be the decision, you want to give him an opportunity to go in there and run the offense, fully run the offense, have confidence that he can go in there and do the things he needs to do to showcase what he can do. And again, I think you're dead on. I think you've got to play him. And the fact that this coaching staff, a lot of these offensive guys probably will not be here next year unless Durkin's the head coach. Now, if DJ Durkin were to somehow get the head coach, I mean, probably so.
Before we go into that, but you also have 2 weeks for Deuce to prepare for this with this week, this bye week that they had before. You've got 2 weeks to prepare him. This is the best time for him to come in well prepared for this Mercer game.
Right. I agree. And so that plays into the mix. And, you know, when you look at it from that standpoint, regardless if this staff is here or not, you're sending a message to him that, hey, you are the future. You know, we want you here. And the next staff, whoever that is going to want you here because of your talent. So, yes, go play. Here's your game. This is your opportunity. We're sending you that message. You know, we'll cross the bridge after the season of how everything looks. But, you know, the positive thing I would say for Deuce Knight is that the coach that was here, that was not playing him, not giving him many reps in practice, not giving him a lot of looks, is gone now. So if I'm him, I'm thinking rejuvenation, brand new start, whatever. And that's how I look at it. Now, on the flip side, you got Jackson Arnold. I see no benefit to playing him Saturday. I don't. That's just me personally. What do you think?
I don't either. That's my point of throwing Deuce in there with 2 weeks to prepare for this. And I mean, save Ashton Daniels, his red shirt, let him, you know, wait. It's not like you're going to throw Deuce in there for the Alabama game. You got 2 weeks to prepare. Get him in there. Let him get some experience. Whether or not it doesn't go great the first drive that they have, let him go back out there. That's just something that we've seen in the past. It's been a pattern when Coach Freeze was there, is putting someone new in there. Oh, a bad drive. All right, well, they're not going to be in there for the next one.
You know, I just think that ship sailed, you know, for Jackson Arnold. And he's not going to be here next year. That's pretty much a given. And so you move forward. You tried. He tried, I guess. People may want to say, well, he didn't get a fair shake with – and that may be the case. But he had opportunities to make plays this year in key situations. He didn't do it. So there's really nothing more to discuss there. So I really feel like it's Deuce Knight Saturday, and you're prepping Ashton Daniels for the Iron Bowl and putting in that work. Look, if you don't think there's already prep and work going in for that game, you're crazy. That you see an Alabama team that now has to come in and fight for its playoff life. It has to come in and win. You know, I've heard Alabama fans go, well, is the Iron Bowl going to even be worth playing? Because, you know, this is earlier in the season. I mean, this is nothing but the rivalry doesn't mean anything anymore and all this kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. Well, they got to win the game now. Not that they didn't want to win it before, but now, and their offense has not been playing very well. And we'll talk more about that as we get into the week and then when we get into Iron Bowl week. But the bottom line is this is not some dominant world-beating Alabama team. And if you look at how many close games they've won against South Carolina and some other teams, and then you look at Auburn, how many close games they've lost. I mean, that's the same Oklahoma team, Auburn, if they don't get a hose job with that trick play. And if Jackson Arnold's able to connect on a couple of passes, you know, Auburn had the lead with 7 minutes to go in the game in Oklahoma, Faith. We were there, you know, and Material had a drive. They went down the field, scored it. But we had the ball again to win, and we couldn't do anything with it. My point is that I don't know that there's a lot of distance. The records, there's a lot of distance between the two teams, but the actual teams themselves, there's not a lot of distance between what stat-wise, what both teams are good at, what both teams are bad at. I think if Auburn comes out and plays, it could be a very interesting game in a couple of weeks.
It being in Jordan-Hare's already a big, which not this season having been a big advantage, but maybe now without Coach Freeze, maybe Jordan-Hare can be as scary as it once was. I mean, seriously though, you've got last year or 2 years ago when Alabama came in to Jordan-Hare and it was a close game down to the very end, which was a nightmare and disaster and still haunts, I think, everybody. But I think it can be a different atmosphere than it has been this whole season.
Right. And again, we're not going to talk a lot more about Alabama this morning. We got plenty of time to discuss that, but I'm just saying that things set up for Auburn to be in a good position to play well in that game. And, Alabama does not run the football very well, so they're very one-dimensional right now. So that and Auburn's prepping for that. And then, of course, like Vanderbilt, Alabama doesn't know what are they prepping for with Auburn. I mean, this is going to be completely different than what they would have seen prior, with Hugh Freeze as the head coach. So, there's a lot of
this Mercer game. There's still going to be.
Yeah, you're not going to get a lot out of that.
You're not going to know what to expect.
No, there's not going to be a lot you can take away from that.
There couldn't be a more perfect ending of the schedule for Auburn, just to get maybe a win against Alabama or even just get some momentum back into your team.
That's exactly where I was going, Faith. There's really nothing to play for outside of, can you show that you got rid of the old stale moldy bread that was holding you back, and you move into the off season with some momentum, and then maybe a new coach and all the different things going on. It's not about Alabama. It's about, can Auburn show now that they're making progress with what they have, and can they end on a high note and lead into the off season? And let's just be honest: if Alabama loses that game, things are in disarray across the way. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Kalen DeBoer. It'd be 3 losses for them, probably missing the playoffs again. I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff riding on that game for them, and there's a lot of stuff riding on that game for Auburn in the fact that, can you start putting things to? Can you win a game in the fourth quarter? Can you actually finish a game and going to have an opportunity to have a top ranked team, your rival, in your place? Can you finish a game? Can you carry that momentum into the offseason? There's a lot for both teams. It's in totally different directions. For Alabama, it's for a playoff berth. For Auburn, it's to show that, hey, we got this thing going in the right direction toward the end of the year. We made the change that we all knew we needed to make. And so now let's take some positive momentum into the offseason with whoever the new head football coach is going to be. So, Justin said drink or Summerall. I mean, I'm going to lean Summerall. That's just kind of where I feel like it's settling. I don't know that there's been a lot of drama in this coaching search. Faith, now it may be somebody out of left field, but it's felt like Summerall from the beginning, and it feels like that's who it's going to be. But at the end of the day, it's John Cohen's decision.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Summerall, I think he's the young guy that could bring back some character to this team and find its identity again.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's get to some of our partners here on the program. We couldn't do our show without them, and we always start with Sensagreen.
For air that's cool and clean this fall during dollar days, call Sensagreen for major discounts on HVAC repairs and installs, plus installation with Professor Greenbacks. Get HVAC smart at sensagreen.com through Thanksgiving with up to $100 off HVAC repairs, $500 off installation work, and $1,500 off a new HVAC system. Sense agreeing with Carrier, turn to the experts. How cool are these coupons?
Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm located in Birmingham, Alabama, but serving the Southeast. And man, they've got tons of projects that they're in charge of right now. And again, I know I've told everybody I watch them work. I know what type of methodical work that they do and holding people accountable, taking you from the pre-construction phase to the finished product. Scout Program Management is the company for you. I promise you, you'll be glad that you chose them. They are the best in the business, and they show you why they are.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. I mean, I can't say where else to go for this game this weekend other than Bunkers. They're going to have some live music later on in the night. They're going to have great happy hour deals, great food always. And I mean, they've got 50 parking spaces downtown. Even if you're not going there for the game, you can still go there for the basketball games. You can go there for just anytime, Wednesday through Saturday. I mean, it's going to be a great day. So head over to Bunkers in downtown Auburn. I cannot suggest where else to go.
Absolutely. Great environment. Everything that you want there at Bunkers. It's a one-stop shop. I mean, that's what you want, right? So, all right, let's get to some basketball real quick before we get off this morning. Auburn, you never want to lose. But, you know, there's a lot of things to take away from that game yesterday with Houston. 73-72, you had the ball in your hand with a chance to win. Todd Pettiford drives. You heard Stephen Pearl in the postgame that, you know, loved the way they executed that. He played off 2 feet, drew the guy up in the air, closed the gap, and then but the backside help blocked the shot. So that was a credit to Houston. You know, they made a play, and then the ball goes out of bounds. Auburn has it with 1 second to set up another play. I thought it was a good look on the backside. It was just a little bit too much for Keyshawn Murphy to handle. Stephen Pearl felt like there was probably a foul there. You go back and look at it, probably not. Probably a good no call there. But bottom line is, if you hit your free throws, Faith, you win the game.
Yeah, 64% from the free throw line last night, and Houston was 83%. It's important how we've talked about the last year and going into this year, how important it is hitting those free throws. And it's still something that looks like it's a struggle.
Obviously it is. When you look at like you said, 64%, you left a lot of points on the floor. And that's Auburn's mojo this year. They're going to get contact. They're going to go to the free throw line. And you got to make your shots. And, you know, it didn't help that Keyshawn Hall went out with 4 minutes to go. Auburn was down 2 at that time. And I tweeted out, okay, Hall goes out. You're within 2. Who's going to step up? I thought Auburn did. They did what they needed to do to put themselves in position. You know, if Keyshawn Hall's in the game, he may have the ball in his hands. And maybe Todd doesn't have the ball in his hands, and maybe he gets to the free throw line and makes a couple more. You know, he was perfect from the line, 8 of 8. They're going to hopefully get a little bit of an update on his foot that caused him to go out of the game. So we'll see how that plays out this week as they get ready for Jackson State on Wednesday night. But you got to get some more point production from people. Still not the best stat line for Todd.
Better though. I mean, better than it has been.
Well, it's better, but I mean, you know, you still. I mean, he had a couple, hit 3 threes, and the shot did look a little bit better. But you know, you look at his. I mean, it's still a struggle from the field. You know, overall shooting. Freeman, 3 of 8, 7 points. Murphy, 7 points. You thought you might get a little bit more out of either one of those. Now, obviously, Freeman had to posterize and dunk. That was unbelievable. That was a tremendous play. Just showcased what kind of athlete he is. And, you know, he's learning to play at this level. I thought he a little early got knocked around, and he settled in, and he said, I'm going to start knocking some people around. So that was good to see him respond. A little disappointed in SWA. 7 points. He was 3 of 8 from the line, and a lot of those coming down the stretch where Auburn had a chance to probably win the game on some of his free throws. So, but overall, you played. If they're the number 1 team in the country, then we're not far off.
No question. Definitely. You could see how maybe they were a little bit tired, a little gassed with how back and forth they were going. And there were some moments of sloppy transitions, just trying to get the ball down and not really looking. And Houston's really aware in that transition.
Right.
And that obviously tires you out too when you think you're going down and then got to get all the way back. Something to work on.
Yes, definitely. I like Stephen Pearl saying that moral victories are for losers. That's my mentality. That's my look. You didn't go in there to play the game close. I love that he feels like they had as good, if not a better team than Houston, and that I love how he was a little edgy with the reporters in the room when somebody asked him about. And I think maybe it has, and we're guilty too, about how physical Houston was. And he said, well, that's what we've been for 8 years here. He goes, if y'all have not been watching, that's the same style we play. We want to be physical. We want to get out and guard you tough. We want to do all that. And he's right. You know, everybody gets caught up in the Kelvin Sampson. Oh, they're going to knock you around. And then Tennessee. But Auburn plays very similar, if not the same exact style. And that's why they had a chance in that kind of game to win. And so I think and I know he's probably a little edgy with him being a first-year head coach and, you know, people saying things, and he wants to go out there. And I know he wanted to win that game really badly. Everybody wanted Auburn to win that game, but you learned a lot from that. And they have gotten a lot better since the Bethune-Cookman game. Let's be honest.
No doubt about that. You can see it just from the second they step out on the court that they look a lot better.
All right, one thing else I want to bring up about this, and then we'll have some more of our partners, and then we'll get off this morning. When I look down at the minutes, Auburn had six guys that had double-digit minutes. That's not what he said he wanted out of this team at the beginning of the year. He said he wanted 9-10 deep that were getting significant minutes. Well, I think they're trying to make Jovic a guy, but it just isn't working right now. He didn't even attempt the shot. He had 9 minutes. He had a couple of rebounds. He turned the ball over twice. Never really saw much of him coming down the line. Really, the only significant bench player we saw was SWA with 26 minutes. Caden Magwood came in. I think he's going to be a guy that works in a lot more as the season goes on. He's got a high ceiling. I think you got to figure out what Bashir's role is.
Yeah.
1 minute there, you obviously don't have any confidence in him, and we didn't see any of Emeka Oporum at all, which was a little shocking. Was a little shocking, to be honest. So I don't know. Maybe Steven didn't feel like he was ready to put him in there in that game, but you did see Mushalek in there for a minute, and you could tell it was that wasn't going to work. So he comes out pretty quick as well. So a lot of guys had heavy minutes. I mean, 6 guys with the majority of the minutes for the game for Auburn. So going to have to continue to build some depth. You ain't going to be able to run through SEC play with 6 guys.
Not a chance. And especially with, how Houston's a very physical team. They're very aggressive. That has to have some sort of impact on the way that Auburn is performing at its highest when they're not as exhausted or tired.
Totally agree. So, hey, but look, a lot to build on. Hey, that's why you play those games.
Yep.
That win doesn't make Houston's season, and that loss doesn't make Auburn's season. I mean, we won that game last year. They came in and they won this one this year. Both ended up in the Final Four last year. And so a lot of basketball to play. You got to move forward. You got to focus on the next. Basketball, man, you got to turn the page a lot quicker than you do in other sports.
Yeah.
You got to get ready to go. Because now can you build off what you did yesterday and keep that going into Jackson State. So, all right, a few more of our partners here on the program. The Cart Source in Dayville, right there on Highway 280s. You're coming down from Auburn, right there on the left. It's Alabama's premier golf cart superstore. They have Easy Go, Cushman, Yamaha, Club Car. You can call them 334-231-2205. I just encourage you to go check it out. Man, when you get on the lot, you see all the different golf carts that they have. If they don't have what you're looking for, they can order it. They can customize it. They work on everything. It's out the door from start to finish, sales, service, parts, and rentals. They are Alabama's premier golf cart superstore, the Cart Source right there in Dayville, Alabama, just down from Auburn. So it's a very convenient drive.
Oliver Ross, for all of your holiday parties coming up, whether it's work or sorority fraternity day parties, they're going to be the bartending service for you. It's so important to have, a bartending service that is licensed and they are professionals. They're going to come in there, set all their stuff up, and then break it down and get out of there when they're done. They can handle 20 up to 20,000 people. So for those big work conventions that you might have, they're going to be the bartending service for you.
No doubt about it. They just do such a great job at everything that they do. Russell Medical Center voted one of the top 3 hospitals in the state of Alabama, and that's pretty high regard. A lot of great medical facilities in this state, but if you're looking for major healthcare facilities and doctors in a smaller town, this is the hospital for you. They're connected with the UAB healthcare system. They're partnered with them. They're the best in the world, in my opinion. So that tells you all about Russell Medical Center. You need to check them out. They're in Alexander City. Again, top-notch medical facilities and doctors for you based on whatever it is, the care that you need. They have it for you there. All right. Faith, just to kind of close out things here, we'll be talking. Obviously, we'll go to practice. I'll actually go to practice tomorrow. You won't be able to go tomorrow, but I'll go to football practice tomorrow. Let's see what this thing looks like. Heading into Mercer, are we going to see Deuce out there getting majority of these snaps with the ones, or it's going to be interesting? Look, it's always interesting to go to practice. Even though you look at this record, you go, man, it's got to be dull. No, it ain't dull. It's never dull. Never know what to expect.
Never. Not once.
So I'll give a report on that, kind of let everybody know what I see. And then, of course, we got a lot of things coming up. We're going to be on location a couple places this week. So we'll talk more about that as well. The lunch show coming up today with Andy and Jim. Make sure you guys tune into that. And Faith and I will be back with you tomorrow for another edition of the Auburn Blitz podcast. Faith, I'll let you send us out.
Hope everyone has the best day and best week ever.
Absolutely. Hopefully after the sluggish internet start here, it'll pick up for us. So, yes, have the best day ever, like Faith said, and we will see you tomorrow for more of the Auburn